still in the month of May, which is, as we know, Mental Health Awareness Month. So now's the time to talk about emotional abuse and its impact on mental health. So joining us now, we have Becky Lee. She's the founder of Becky's Fund, and Hassan Arif. He's the founder of Appnector. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, so, this is a hard discussion to have, but we have to have it. Let's start with talking about domestic violence and the impact. What does it look like? What are the different types?
Sure. So I think we often think about physical abuse when we think about domestic violence, like the black eye, the broken nose, something that leaves a mark, which is obviously more easier to recognize, right? But I think that's why it's so important to address emotional abuse, because it's quite serious, and not only is it a precursor to future violence, it also can have a devastating toll on one's mental health. If not checked, one who is going through emotional abuse, where everything from the verbal abuse, humiliation, gaslighting, love bombing, you start then believing all these different things that your abuser is obviously telling you, or obviously acting against you, and then also you think like, well, I'm stuck, this is my fault. And also obviously it's going to break that person down, losing confidence, even losing the courage to be able to leave that relationship. So it's important to talk about it, because I think that people often think it's not leaving an actual bruise, so it's not that serious, or maybe it's not even happening at all. And I think also the stigma of talking about mental health, men are often encouraged, oh, if you're not talking about this, obviously it's not really happening, but the stigma even asking for help, and being vulnerable, and then survivors often are victim blamed for being in the situation. So there's a lot of, I think, conversations that need to be had. The more we can open up about it, obviously people are able to reach out for help.
And I'm glad you mentioned men, because oftentimes people don't look at that side of domestic violence, and doesn't that look almost the same?
It is the same. I mean, every person obviously going through a situation when they're in a relationship with someone they care about, they should never be hurt by the person they love, right? And so I think, again, the way that our society socializes what it means to be a man, not being vulnerable, not asking for help, that's obviously, very obviously harmful to men who are going through this and who need support, but also being able to say, okay, my emotions are valid, what I'm going through is valid, I'm not alone, and I deserve to get help for this.
And speaking of getting help, Hassan, you have an app. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we found that there are several studies now, including from the American Psychological Association, which indicate that chat therapy and teletherapy are more convenient and less stigmatizing ways for people to get mental health support. So we've taken this emerging technology that are chatbots, you hear about them all the time, and then mobile apps, which all of us have, to offer this type of support in a way that is discreet, which is particularly important in this context, where you might have a scenario where you, a survivor, can be in close quarters to the abuser. So we're really excited about offering this type of technology to folks right at their fingertips, right, through web or through, of course, the mobile app, where they have access to a ton of features that can help them. And now we're also looking into the future, really trying to utilize tools like ChatGPT, right, conversational AI, to offer an even better experience for survivors to find this help in a discreet way that is very safe as well.
And that is really interesting. So quickly, they're wrapping me up. How could we learn more, Becky?
Sure. So obviously visiting our website, beckysfund.org, but also downloading the app. And Hassan can sort of share how are you able to download that.
You just go to ENDOVI.org, ENDOVI.org, and you'll find both links.
Okay, we'll make sure and put some of that information on DCNewsNow.com. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.